If you're thinking about moving to Canton, Georgia, then this video is your cheat code. So today I'm going over some of the best neighborhoods in Canton and giving you all the details that you will not find in Zillow. I'll talk about what makes them great, what lifestyle each area provides, and who might be a best fit here. But who am I? My name's Joel. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Atlanta, and this is what I do. I make videos to help people know what it's like to live here in Metro Atlanta, and every day I help people just like you make the move to Georgia. So let's get into it. Let's start with Bridgemill because honestly, this is the neighborhood that almost everyone will end up looking for homes in at some point along the way. Bridgemill is a massive master planned community with close to 3,000 homes, and it really does feel like its own small city. I will always remember I was showing some houses in there once and I GPSed to the next place and it was a 15-minute drive. Same neighborhood, 15-minute drive. Most of the homes were built in the early 2000s, so you'll see a nice mix of traditional 2 stories, some larger golf course homes, and even a few pockets of townhomes if you're after something, maybe just a little bit lower maintenance. Prices here are gonna run the gamut. You can find something smaller in the resales for the low 400s. Most homes live in that 600 to 700 sweet spot, and there are also larger estate homes in the 1.5 million area. But the real draw to Bridgemill is the lifestyle. The community is anchored by the Bridgemill amenities, which are world class. You've got full 18-hole golf course, tennis courts, pickleball courts, basketball courts, volleyball courts, playgrounds, pools, water slides, splash pads, and fitness and wellness center. If you live here, you may never have to leave. Now, the HOA itself is surprisingly low. Annual dues are just a couple $100, but that doesn't include everything. You can choose whether or not to add some of the other things depending on how much you'll use it in, sort of an a la carte system. For schools, Bridgemill is gonna be split as to where you're gonna be zoned for. Depending on your exact street, you're gonna either be zoned for Sixes Elementary or Liberty Elementary. Both are gonna go to Freedom Middle School and then split again to either be Woodstock High or Cherokee High School. Now, Woodstock is gonna get an A- on niche.com and a 9 out of 10 on gradeschools.org, while Cherokee is gonna get a B+ on niche.com and a 7 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. Just make sure you know the school zoning that you're gonna be in before you start looking in this neighborhood. And location-wise, Bridgemill kind of nails it. You're right off of Sixes Road, so you've got quick access to I-575 and Bells Ferry Road. Downtown Woodstock is about 10 minutes south, downtown Canton is about 10 minutes north, and Lake Altoona is practically in your backyard, or for some homes in this neighborhood, literally in your backyard if you're looking for, those boat days, hikes, or some camping. Now, bear in mind, Bridgemill is big, it's active, it's packed, and it's always buzzing. If you're dreaming about a quiet mountain retreat with wide open space, this isn't that. But if you like the energy of a community where your neighbors are out walking, playing tennis, heading to the pool, or grabbing dinner at the clubhouse, Bridgemill gives you that, live where you play lifestyle. Next up is Harmony on the Lakes. Harmony is another big, beautiful community built around multiple lakes, miles of walking trails, and some of the nicest landscaping that you're gonna find in Cherokee County. If Bridgemill is like a high-energy theme park, Harmony is more like a retreat. It's active, family-friendly, but not nearly as intense or crowded. The homes here are a mix of traditional 2 stories, craftsman styles, and maybe just a bit newer construction. They started building in the early 2000s and they kept going for more than a decade, so you'll see a nice blend of established streets and newer pockets. Prices generally range from the low 400s up to the 700s, with the sweet spot sitting right around, maybe mid 600s. What buyers really love here is that you get a lot of the neighborhood feel without sacrificing space. The homes tend to have maybe just a little bit larger lots than you're gonna find in Alpharetta or Woodstock, and a lot are gonna back up to maybe some green space, or if you're lucky, the lake themselves. The amenities are some of the best in the area, maybe outside of Bridgemill. You've got a huge clubhouse, resort-style pool, including an adult-only pool, splash pad for the kids, tennis courts, basketball courts, playgrounds, fitness center, and of course, all of the walking trails and open green space along the water. It feels more like a lifestyle community than just, maybe just a subdivision. And that's exactly why families are drawn here. On the school side, Harmony is zoned for Indian Knoll Elementary, Dean Rusk Middle, and Sequoia High School. Indian Knoll is going to get an A rating on niche.com and a 7 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. Dean Rusk pulls an A on niche.com and a 7 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. And Sequoia High is consistently ranking among the top in Cherokee County with an A- rating on niche.com and an 8 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. As for location, Harmony sits just east of downtown Canton with easy access to I-575. That makes it really simple to head north into Ellijay or Blue Ridge, south into Woodstock, or hop down to Alpharetta and Roswell without too much hassle. You're also close to Hickory Flat, which has everyday conveniences like Publix, Kroger, restaurants, so you don't have to drive far for the basics. They also just put a Starbucks right down the street, so go ahead and Google the Starbucks effect to give you a good idea of the growth happening in this area. If you want the neighborhood energy and amenities, but not the scale and chaos of maybe a Bridgemill, Harmony on the Lakes is a perfect middle ground. It's big enough to have a ton going on, but peaceful enough that you can actually feel the harmony it's named for. See what it did? Oh, you stink! Let's head over to Barrett Farms because not everyone is coming into Canton with a Bridgemill or Harmony budget, and this neighborhood fills that affordability gap. Barrett Farms is a smaller community, but it's a favorite for buyers looking to get under that $400,000 price point, which is getting harder and harder to find in Cherokee County. The homes here are mostly built in the late 1990s and early 2000s. You'll see a lot of traditional two-story plans and ranch styles, usually between 1,500 and 2,200 square feet. They're not massive homes, but they're perfect for first-time home buyers, downsizers, or anyone who wants to be in a lower maintenance home without sacrificing, the true neighborhood feel. Prices typically run in the mid 300s to mid 400s depending on updates and size, and that keeps Barrett Farms one of the most affordable single family options in the area. Now, one of the biggest draws here is that there's no HOA. That means no extra monthly dues, no one telling you what color you can paint your shutters, and a lot more flexibility overall. For some people, that's a huge win. You still get the neighborhood and community feel without the added layers of oversight or fees, and that makes this spot especially attractive if you just want to buy a house and live your life. Schools here line up really well. Barrett Farms is zoned for Holly Springs Elementary, Dean Rusk Middle, and Sequoia High School. So this is gonna be the same as Harmony on the Lakes, except for the elementary school. Instead of Indian Knoll, it's gonna be Holly Springs Elementary, which is going to get a B+ rating on niche.com and a 7 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. So pretty much the same rating school-wise, but at a much lower price point. For location, Barrett Farms is off of Hickory Road, right in the middle of 575 and 140. It's technically in Holly Springs, which if you don't know, Holly Springs is really its own city within Canton, has its own mayor, and they're even building their own city center area. But really it's like Rhode Island, where it's just a tiny piece of land tucked into another more substantial city. I said what I said. So who is Barrett Farms for? It's perfect for the first-time home buyer who wants to break into Cherokee County schools without stretching your budget too far. For downsizers who want simplicity and no HOA rules, or maybe someone looking to pick up their next property with no rental restrictions. If Bridgemill and Harmony on the Lakes are about the big amenities and lifestyle, Barrett Farms is about value and flexibility. Hey, if you're thinking about making a move, take 30 seconds to fill out the connect form linked below. We can set up a time to chat, and I'd love to help you figure out which part of North Atlanta feels like home. And if you're still early in the process, grab the free relocation guide. It's packed with info to help you get started. If you're looking for something affordable in the Creekview School District, Mill Creek is going to be right in your wheelhouse. If you don't know, the Creekview District has generally higher priced homes, so finding something more affordable is a bigger deal here. This is one of the more approachable price points in Canton if you want access to those top rated schools while still staying under the median home price. Mill Creek is made up of homes mostly built in the early to mid 2000s. They tend to be traditional two-story layouts in the 1,800 to 2,800 square foot range. Prices usually fall in the high 300s to high 400s, so it's very doable compared to many of the larger master plan neighborhoods around here. That's what keeps this subdivision such a steady option for a lot of buyers. You can get a comfortable house, a yard, and solid schools without overextending too much. Speaking of schools, Mill Creek is zoned for Macedonia Elementary, Creekland Middle, and Creekview High School. Macedonia Elementary gets an A- rating on niche.com and a 9 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. Creekland gets an A- on niche.com and a 7 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. And Creekview High is consistently one of the county's strongest with an A- on niche.com and a 9 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. A lot of buyers specifically target this district, so getting in at that more affordable price point makes Mill Creek extra attractive. The neighborhood itself doesn't come with the huge resort-style amenity packages you see in some of the other large communities in Canton, but there's still a community pool, multiple playgrounds, sidewalks for evening walks, and a convenient spot in eastern Cherokee County. Location-wise, you're tucked into the Macedonia area of Canton, which is probably the most secluded part of Canton. You're just a bit further from Target, shopping, and restaurants, but the trade-off is a quieter, more rural pocket. Mill Creek is going to be ideal for buyers who want the Creekview schools, a manageable budget, and a neighborhood that feels welcoming without all the bells and whistles of the massive master plan communities. If you love the idea of being closer to nature but still want to be in a neighborhood with amenities, Great Sky will probably check a lot of your boxes. This is Canton's Mountain View community, built along the Hickory Log Reservoir with lots of rolling hills, long views, and tons of trails that weave through the woods. It's also only about 5 minutes from downtown Canton and the mill on Etowah, so you can go from hiking a trail to grabbing a beer or catching live music without missing a beat. Homes in Great Sky were originally starting in the early 2000s, but there's still new construction going on right now, which makes it one of the few neighborhoods where you can get both an established resale or a brand new build. Architecturally, you'll see everything from craftsman 2 stories to more modern plans with open concepts and higher ceilings. Prices range from the high 400s for smaller homes into the 700s and even 800s for larger new builds with basements or premium lots. The sweet spot is usually in the 500s and 600s. Amenities are a big part of life here. Great Sky has multiple swimming pools, tennis and pickleball courts, a clubhouse, playgrounds, and those miles of walking and biking trails that connect throughout the neighborhood. But what really sets it apart from some of the other larger communities is the setting. There are some really great views up there, and when you're out on the trails, you get that tucked away, almost mountain town feeling, even though you're still minutes from Canton. On the school side, Great Sky is zoned for R.M. Moore Elementary, Teasley Middle, and Cherokee High School. R.M. Moore is a dual language immersion school that earns a B+ rating on niche.com and a 6 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. Teasley Middle School scores a B on niche.com and a 7 out of 10, and Cherokee High holds steady with a B+ on niche.com and a 7 out of 10 on gradeschools.org. Great Sky's location is pretty good too. It's just above Riverstone Parkway, so you're minutes from a lot of the everyday essentials like Publix, Walmart, there's a Home Depot, a movie theater, and a lot of restaurants. Heritage Park is nearby and has phenomenal walking trails if you're looking for, flat and paved, and you've got quick access to the mill on Etowah as well as downtown Canton. So while Great Sky feels kind of like tucked up into the foothills, you're still close to everything. So who is Great Sky for? This is ideal if you want that blend of outdoorsy lifestyle and convenience. You've got the scenic views, the trails, and the quieter setting than some of the other larger master plan communities, but you've also got, 5-minute access to downtown Canton's restaurants, shops, entertainment. It's a great fit for buyers who want something a little different from the big swim tennis suburbs. If you got questions or want help figuring out your next move, I'd love to hear from you. You can take 30 seconds, fill out our Connect form and we'll be happy to reach out to you. If you'd rather keep things maybe just a little bit more low-key and on your own time, I've put together a free relocation guide that you can download and check out whenever it's convenient for you. Or if you're just in research mode, stick around and just watch some more videos. I'll see you in the next one.